Hi, everybody. Welcome to tonight's presentation on LifeWave. My name is Arleen Hanks, and I am a Senior Director based in Australia. I got introduced to LifeWave by the wonderful Merle, who is a Senior Presidential Director, absolutely amazing human being. And I'm going to pass it on to Merle. She can tell you a little bit about herself, and then she'll switch it back to me, and I'll do the product side, and she's going to do the business side.
Thanks so much, Arleen. So as Arleen said, my name is Merle Westcott. I live in Durban, South Africa, and I was introduced to LifeWave in December 2022. And at the time, like Arleen, I'm a life alignment therapist and teacher, and I am a low-carb nutritionist. At the time I was running my practice, I had no intention to build a LifeWave business. In fact, I was a little bit allergic to network marketing. I'd done it in the past, and some other companies, as people always say, it's the people, not the company, and not the product, and that'd be my experience. So I was just going to use it. So I heard about X39, this wonderful little patch, and we started patching, and within a week I had a huge improvement in my shoulder. And as a result, a friend phoned me just before Christmas and moaning that she was back from the physio for the umpteenth time. 3 months she hadn't been able to lift her arm above her shoulders, she hadn't been able to play tennis. And I said, well, I found these patches. I've had a result. Let me get a few to you tomorrow. My husband's coming down to Durban for work. Let's see what happens. And she was a one-patch wonder. 23 minutes later, she was lifting her arm above her head. And I got a phone call to say, I'm signing up. I don't know what these things do, but I can move my arm for the first time in months. And then she started patching her mum with Alzheimer's, and there were great results there too. But I still wasn't going to tell anybody. And then in January, another one of my life alignment students saw me and said, you're looking great. What are you doing? I told her. She signed up, and she told her very good friend Karen. And Karen's story is the reason that I started building a LifeWave business. I'm not going to go into the whole story now. We can share her testimony with you, but her spinal cord regenerated. And because of that, I thought, well, I can't keep this a secret. So it took me a long time to get going. That was in February last year. I joined in December. And in February last year, I started telling people, but I only told Arleen in about November, because a lot of my therapist friends in South Africa were like, no, it's a placebo, it's a this, it's a that, and the next thing. And so I didn't reach out to my international community, which was very bad of me, because Adrian has moaned at me several times to say, why did it take so long to get to us? But I eventually did. And of course, Arleen joined and it brought Adrian in. And we started telling the world, and the rest is history. So last month, I went Senior Presidential Director while we were on the company's 20th anniversary cruise, which was amazing, because it meant I got to go on to stage with David Schmidt, who you're going to hear about today. And LifeWave has become my life. And every single day, I get messages from people to say how LifeWave has changed their life, both from a physical perspective and a financial perspective. So while I didn't come into the business for the finances, I am very grateful, because it has changed our reality in a massive way. So over to you, Arleen.
So thank you. Well, it's always so inspiring hearing your story and just connecting to everything that you've experienced. For me, I was looking for two things. First of all, I'd had cancer, I'd had a lot of surgeries, and I was discovered that I had osteoporosis, and I was looking for something to help me with the healing of osteoporosis. And then the second thing was, having been ill for the time I needed to find a secondary source of income, because 5 months with no income was really a nightmare. And I had the importance of having a secondary income became very, very important to me. And when Merle first mentioned this, I got such a strong feeling about it. I decided, no, I've got to look at this. And I just messaged her straight away and said, we need to meet. And in the meantime, between when I sent her the message and we met, I had a look at the research and found that if you combined X39 and X49, it works with osteoporosis. So that was it. I was in. The sort of experience I've had, well, within 3 weeks, the $500 I spent to join LifeWave not only gave me patches, but that was back in my bank account. And by Christmas, I signed up at the end of November, and by Christmas, I was a manager. That was a nice Christmas present. I remember Merle showing me her back office and thinking, wow, if I could have even an extra $1,000 a month, that would be amazing. Well, lately I've been earning over $1,000 a week, and that's American, which is absolutely incredible. And LifeWave has paid my rent since February. So from a financial point of view, it's been amazing. From a physical point of view, it's helped with my scarring. I have really big scars on my chest, which you can't even see now because of the way they've healed. And I had foot neuropathy and pain in my feet, which has disappeared. My blood pressure's become normal. And well, yeah, the hair speaks for itself. This is my natural color. I used to be Snow White. I'm not. I used to have old lady hands. I don't. So there's so many stories I can tell you about the absolute incredible experience I've had with LifeWave. But let's get into the presentation. Merle will share our screen. She's master of screen sharing. So the first question we always ask here is, have you been patched yet? Some of you who are here are already brand partners like myself and Merle and others who've been patching for some time and have discovered about how it elevates our body, activates our cells, and regenerates our cells. Others, you're still waiting for your patches, and others, you are new to this altogether and have not yet patched yet. It's exciting. I look forward to when you do. You don't talk about LifeWave and X39 unless you talk about David Schmidt, who's the CEO and the inventor of the X39 patch and of all the other patches. David Schmidt is a scientist and an inventor. He's not a medical doctor, but he has I think it's well over 150 patents now, and he stopped counting, so we don't actually know how many he's got. He invents things. He's a scientist. He's a very passionate person. I highly recommend that you hop onto YouTube, type his name in, and listen to his talks. They are fascinating. I get so inspired listening to his passion. And he decided to specialize in age reversing. This is not anti-aging, it's age reversing. And as we go through the night, you'll find out why. In 2008, David started to focus his attention on stem cell research. He already had patches and had designed patches, but he started to see all the interest in the community about stem cells and started to ponder, can he actually use his invention to actually help the body regenerate its own stem cells? It took him 10 years and $4.5 million to bring the X39 patch to market, and this is exactly what it does. So it is a patented technology. What does that mean? It means that absolutely everything that it says, it has had to prove that it can do. You have to prove a patent. You can't just say that it does this. So it means it's got all the scientific backing to it. The patent says it is an embodiment as a result of elevating copper peptides, including activation of stem cells, improvement in energy, and an elevation of antioxidants, reduction in inflammation, management of pain, improvement in stamina, elevation of collagen production, and an improvement in healing. It's really exciting because it means that absolutely everything in there, we have the scientific research to back it up. Not only that, but it's a patent, which means nobody else can copy it. This technology it's unique and only this company can sell it. And it's got another 16 years on the patent. So for 16 years, we have the sole market on this. So why the X39 stem cell patch? The fewer stem cells you have, the faster you age and the slower you heal. Now, what is a stem cell? A stem cell is a base cell that can form into any other cell in the body. It's actually the first cells that your whole body is made up of. So when you're first created, you have a clump of cells and it takes a while. They're all the same. Those are stem cells. And then after a few weeks, they start to differentiate into different organs and glands. So a stem cell is a blank cell and you have them in your body, but as you age, there are less and less stem cells available and active in your body. So by the time you're 30 years old, only half of your stem cells are actually active. By the time you're 60, you lose almost all stem cell activity, and that is why people age. And you'll notice as you age, you get more tired, you get more exhausted, you don't have the same energy levels, and it takes longer for you to heal. And that's because of the lack of stem cell activity. So how does the X39 work? It's a proprietary form of phototherapy. What is phototherapy? Light therapy. We've had light therapy available in many different ways. If you think about, when a newborn baby has jaundice, the first thing they do is they put it under the lights to help it heal. Your skin reacts to the sun to create vitamin D within your body. So it's not you. We are light beings, so it makes sense that we would work with light. But it's a patented nanocrystal technology that is made of amino acids, glucose, and salts, and they are structured into a particular frequency so that when your infrared light from your body hits the patch, it activates that frequency in the patch and it beams like a signal back into your body, which then tells your body, do this, do that. In the case of X39, it's activating your GHK-Cu copper peptides, and those stimulate the dormant stem cells in your body to reactivate and then go to work when they need it in the body. So if you're needing, your kidney cells to be reactivated, those cells are going to go and move into the kidney. If you need something in your spine to be reactivated, or your collagen to be improved, or your skin or hair to be improved, that's where it's going to go. And the body knows where to send those stem cells. It's absolutely amazing how it works. It's non-transdermal. So there's nothing that's actually going from the patch into your skin other than a light signal. So there's no drugs, there's no chemicals, there's no stimulants, and it's completely non-invasive. So it's natural. It's an incredible technology. What are the benefits of X39? Increased strength. I'm getting very excited about this because, 2 years ago, I had major surgery, I had a tumor in my heart, so I had open heart surgery. I had a double mastectomy. So that meant for a long time, I was only able to pick up cups and saucers and not much else. I was actually very severely limited as what I was allowed to do. The other day, I've got a mum, she's 84, and she loves to paint rocks. And so I buy these big bags of rocks for her. I lifted up a 20-kilogram sack of rocks on my own, put it onto the countertop, took it to the car, took it out of the car, brought it into the house. That's incredible. I couldn't have done that. I'm not working out in a gym, right? And I've got these things called muscles that are suddenly forming that I've, not had before. So it just blows my mind. I get very excited about the increased strength because I can feel it in my own body. Reduced inflammation. I used to have inflammation in my lower spine. I used to have fibromyalgia. I don't anymore. I don't have any of that inflammation and that pain in my feet. Increased stamina. I can go all day long. I've never been able to do that for years. Increased energy and vitality. Increased mental clarity. Many of our people talk about this when they get on the patches, how their mind switches on. They have that sharpness. They have that focus that comes back. Restored muscular or skeletal conditions. I have a fusion in the lower part of my spine. I'm using the patches to help deal with that condition. Improvement of sleep. A lot of us are actually finding this on the patches, that we have a good night long sleep. And the more sleep you have, the deeper the healing in your body. So it's really important that you have improved sleep. And not only that, but with that, I'm finding I dream, and I dream in technicolor and a very vivid, amazing dream realm, which always points to the fact that you're getting into that deep REM sleep, which is so important. And improved skin appearance. So, like I said about the old lady hands I used to have, in the past, if I pinched the skin on my hand, that would stay stuck. And now it's just bouncing back and there's no wrinkles in my hands. It's the most incredible thing to observe. So you get this whole optimal health, a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, because many people even have an improved mood when they're on the patches. So the results, this is a very interesting slide. There are many different types of tests that are done, scientific research that are done. This is just one of them. This is a topographical map. So it's a type of scan they can do. And this one is showing a series of brain scans that they've done on a 77-year-old woman. She is one of many, but this is just her ones. In the first session, you can see session 1 there. There's a lot of red on that image. That is showing the inflammation and the lack of coherence in the brain. Session 2 took place, session 1, she wasn't on the patches. Session 2 takes place 3 weeks later on the patches, and you can see there's very little red there. There's no inflammation, and there's improved brain coherence. That's just in 3 weeks, which is incredible. And by session 3, 6 weeks later, there's a complete turnaround. She's got still no inflammation and far better brain coherence. So just remarkable when you look at these kind of results, you can actually see the results in tests, which is fantastic. So what are the long-term results? These case studies can be found on this website. You might want to go and have a look at it. This is itinfo.com, and a brilliant website with videos, and you can see all the medical research there that they've done and all the different test results. But these are a few that they found. In the first few days of wearing X39, 4,000 of your genes are going to begin to reset. Within 6 weeks, your brain becomes balanced. And within 3 months, your collagen is increased. And collagen is extremely important. It's not just this that you can see on the external of my body, but your internal organs of the body use collagen as well, in your bones, in your muscles, in your connective tissue, in your gut lining. So it's working inside your body. Sometimes people are saying, is it working? They can't see it yet. It's working inside, and then it works outside. So every time I see something like this happening in my skin, I get very excited, because if this is happening on the outside, what's happening on the inside? And I've actually had tests done with my naturopath who can scan my different organs and glands, and he does my blood tests. And we've seen my liver totally heal, my gallbladder's healed. Those organs were originally not functioning optimally. After 4 months on X39, I went and had all those tests redone, and the results have been incredible. You can see the complete turnaround. The other thing that happens, which is so amazing, is within 6 months, your heart reverses in age by up to 8 years, I think it is, Mel. I mean, it's incredible, absolutely incredible. So it's not anti-aging. It's actually age reversing. You're becoming younger in your organs and glands, okay? So phenomenal, blows my mind. How do you actually wear the X39? You wear your patch 12 hours on and 12 hours off. You take the 12 hours off so that your body has a chance to repair and to rejuvenate. Afterwards, you can either throw your patch away, but there is a little bit of extra activity in the patch. So if you like your partner that you're living with, your partner can have that bit of patch. Or you can put it on your dogs or cats, or in my case, I put it on my pot plants, and they actually, it's quite amazing to see how they respond to that little bit of extra in the patch. Then you throw your patch away afterwards, obviously, and the next day, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. You can wear more than one patch at a time, but it's not that you're going to wear 2 of the same patches. As I said, there's a range of patches. There's inflammation. We've got the sleep patches. We've got the aloe vera for the skin. So there are different patches that do different things. So you can wear an X39 and an Aeon at the same time, but you'd be wearing each patch for 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Some patches you can wear in the evening. So you can have your daytime patches and your evening patches, but you're doing 12 hours on, 12 hours off. We do recommend that you drink a lot of water, because your body's going to go through detox and repair, and that takes water, and to add something like electrolytes to your water as well. Okay, so the X39 patch, very sophisticated, very simple to explain. The testimonials are absolutely life-changing, as you've heard in both Mel's case and mine, also very emotional. And the most wonderful thing about it all is that it absolutely works, because we have the scientific proof and so many testimonials that back it up. So at this point, we're going to pause And let's just hear from other people about their stories. You've heard a bit from me, you've heard a bit from Merle. Would anybody else like to share a little bit about their experience, those who've already been on the patches?
Or we're going to pick on them. I can see
Yes.
Belle's got a big grin on her face, so we've got to get Belle to share. Just smash laughing. I love
Hi both. Hi everyone. Yeah, I'm a dog walker. I've actually just run back from a dog walk to join this meeting. So because I knew Arleen was going to be on, and love you too, Mel. But Arleen's story always gets me right there. So any chance to hear Arleen talk, and I rush
Oh,
back for
thank you,
it.
darling.
I'm a dog walker. I board dogs. I took out my boarding license a couple of years ago, and which cost me a lot of money. And 2 days after it, I was walking out with the dogs, and just before I got back to the car, my hip did what I can only describe as something crunchy. I heard it, I felt it, I nearly went down, and I'd torn my greater trochanter tendon, and I have bursitis, as it turns out, in both hips. So as a dog walker, that was almost career ending. I was in a huge amount of pain and taking lots of painkillers, and I was going to get these steroid injections with the big long horse needle right into my hip every 6 months. And the consultant was merrily telling me that it's degenerative and I should just get used to the pain. It wasn't going to get better, and I only just turned 60 this year, and I wasn't very happy with that prospect. And I was thinking, do I have to sell my two-story house and move to a bungalow? Do I have to give up my business? I was taking so many painkillers. I was waking up in the night to take painkillers, and I was due another injection in June this year. And I was really fed up with having to do this process because it wasn't giving me a great amount of relief, just for a few weeks at best. And so there's actually a dog talking to me at the moment from under the table. So I really didn't want to have this injection again. And I saw a friend post on Facebook about these crazy little patches. And she also rescues dogs, which, she was using the patches on the dogs as well as herself and her husband. And I thought, well, if it works on the dogs, it's not a placebo. So I messaged her and said, tell me about these patches. And I thought, right, I'm going to take a flyer. And I ordered some patches. And in 2 weeks, my pain levels went from a 7 or 8 with the occasional 9 down to a 5 to 6, which, if that was all I'd got, I'd been really happy with it. But another 2 weeks and the pain went down to a 3 to 4. By 6 weeks, it was down to like a 1 or 2, and 2 months, no pain. So by 2 months, my pain had gone. I was not using any painkillers during that time at all. And now I'm on month 3. I almost on a daily basis, I show off to everyone that I can do full squats again, which I hadn't been able to do for over 2 years. I can continue with my dog business, but obviously I've joined up as a brand partner because this thing is going absolutely crazy, and everyone that sees me sees I'm bouncing around. And I turned 60 this year, and no one seems to be able to believe it. One, that I'm 60, and two, that I'm jolly and bouncing around. Although I'm quite a jolly sort of person anyway. And the business side of things is absolutely mad. And all the dogs that I'm boarding, some of the old ones, I've just been out to walk the famous Merle this morning. He's 14 years old. He's blind in one eye, and he is bouncing around like a kangaroo. He's been patching now for 5 weeks. So he gets all my used patches. I pick patches up from my friends, my mother, and a lot of the dogs I know are also getting patches as well, and it's really changing their lives too. So yeah, it's benefiting everyone, and yeah, I'm really thrilled.
I love your story.
I do
Thank
too.
you.
And the dogs. We know that and the fact that you collected patches from everyone for the dogs, the secondhand patches, just love it.
Yep.
Oh,
This is Molly. Say hello, Molly.
thank you. Thank you so much for that.
I always cringe when you talk about that horse needle that was going into your hip, and I'm like, oh, I also wouldn't want that.
No, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing.
Definitely not. And then Caroline has some amazing stories, always.
Yeah, well, I've just got reminded when I heard Val that I actually, because I used to have really bad what do you call it, heel spurs, and I think I was offered a couple of needles as well, and I never took them. And I'm like, oh, I wish there was a way I could get rid of this. And over time with doing stuff, before I knew the patches, I got better and I kind of stabilized it. But when I heard about X39 and all the patches from a friend who actually was signed up by Adrian, I thought, I really like the idea of less pain in my body. I definitely had the beginning of getting arthritis. I'm 65, and just through menopause and just general wear and tear, and also having a dog for 17 years that I had to walk twice a day. I think my hips and my knee, plus a very good party, which ruined my one knee from dancing too much. I was looking for something that could help me. I started patching, and within 2 or 3 weeks, after not really feeling much, I suddenly thought, I'm actually really feeling a lot better in myself. I feel, no pain really when I wake up. Normally, I still had my knee, but I didn't have that overall kind of pain in the night where you wake up and you have to turn because your shoulder is so sore. And I slept so well. Started dreaming and just waking up with a bit of a bounce in my step. So that was the first couple of weeks. And then I just thought, this is great. I'm not stopping, of course. I was going to give myself a really good time to feel in. By about 4 months, I was starting to be able to do the squats, Val. I was so pleased with that. I hadn't been able to do anything like that for such a long time. And now I'm completely bendy in my knee again. And if I overdo it sometimes, which I did at another party, and I danced a bit more, it goes away within a day or two. I just keep the patches on, and I'm back to good again. So that was my own story. And actually, as we were on the call, I just had a little text from a friend who she's been patching her mum, who's got dementia, and she said, I really need to sign my mum up this afternoon because she was off the patches for 3 days and she was horrendous compared to how she is when she's patching. She's got dementia and is 90, and she's just a different person when she patches. And that was just 3 weeks in to X39, and her whole demeanor was completely changed, and she was calm and happy and, very, so it's amazing how some people get results so quickly. And so many different results too.
Thank you. That's so good.
Who else has got a story? I mean, we have amazing story. Somebody was saying to me this morning that everything is anecdotal, but it's not, because we have a brand partner who's in her 70s who lives in Johannesburg. I mean, we have multiple, but one of them, she has had both hips replaced. She's had a knee replacement. She has diabetes. She has rheumatoid arthritis. She was on a huge amounts of medication and painkillers. Her CRP levels, for anybody who understands blood tests, the C-reactive protein, it's a measure of inflammation. Her CRP levels were between 19 and 30. Now, the lab wants them under 5. As a nutritionist, I want them to be under 3, because if they are over 3, I know that there's probably leaky gut. And obviously, she was in stage 3 kidney disease. Now, by stage 5, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By stage 5, you're on dialysis. The first thing that happened is she's off all medication. She started patching at the end of last year. She's off all medication or painkillers. She still takes some things for her rheumatoid arthritis, but she's off all her painkillers. So that's a big difference. She says, I don't walk like an Egyptian anymore. So she walks normally. She was battling to walk. She isn't, so now she isn't in pain. She walks properly. Her CRP levels for the first time in years, obviously tested by her doctor, is down to 3, which is fabulous, from between 19 to 30. And she saw her endocrinologist last Monday because of her diabetes and the other things that she deals with. And her stage 3 kidney disease has reversed to stage 2. So instead of getting worse, which it was heading for, she was really heading towards kidney failure, it's actually getting better. And she has all the blood tests to prove it. Her endocrinologist last Monday said to her, what is this that you are doing? I need to know about it. Because now he's seeing it in the bloods. So it's not just anecdotal. I mean, we know our stories all have relevance. But for those who want the bloods, Claire has hers, and she is happy to share them or to talk to any medical professionals about her journey. She comes from the pharmaceutical industry. She was a sales manager for a national pharmaceutical company when she worked. So that's just another story. And my blood tests, personally, my thyroid in my first 4 months of patching improved for the first time since 2015. And so we halved my tetroxin because my T3 levels improved so much. So I didn't expect that. I take medication. So I didn't feel any different. I mean, since I went on thyroid medication, I have energy. I don't need to sleep during the day. All of those horrible thyroid symptoms went from 2015 when I was finally diagnosed. But I now take half the medication. And this year it stayed the same. So we didn't have to add any more. It hasn't got better. Well, when I did tests again this year, which was a year later, nothing had changed from last year, but that doesn't mean that it's not changing because, of course, the stem cells are always going where they need to go first. So, Adrian.
Yeah, so I can add to that in terms of evidence through blood tests. In the flat that I moved into last year, we had a housewarming in the autumn, and somebody I knew came with her husband, an older couple, and they left early because he was so unwell. And he was unwell with prostate cancer. He's been battling it for 14 years. And probably doing lots of natural things because he's a homeopath. And we got him on patches probably around February. And then a few months later, I saw them again, and he's like a different man. He's so much better, and his PSA level has come down significantly. So it's evidenced in the blood, and you know, he's doing. It's just wonderful to see that kind of change in someone.
Thanks for that, Adrian. And we see it all the time. So I think, should we go back to the presentation, Arleen?
Awesome. Yes, thank you.
Right. Can you see it?
Yes.
So as Arleen said earlier, this is the page to go to, or the website to go to for lots of information, for more testimonials, for all the research on X39, not on all other patches, but on X39. There's a doctor's panel, there are doctors talking. It's a great place to go. So if you're not part of LifeWave yet, I would take a screenshot or write this down. This is at info.com. Okay, so I'm going to go into the business part of this presentation. So as I said, when I joined, I was never building a business. It wasn't my intention. So I didn't even look at the company. I did think, because usually as therapists, we have heard about every new thing that's around, whether it's a new kind of therapy, a new supplement, somebody's told us. So when I was introduced to LifeWave by Candace, who's my sponsor, and she does access bars, I thought, well, this is strange because it's a 19-year-old company, but I haven't heard about it, but I just moved on. Product sounded amazing and I signed up. But at the beginning of last year, when I thought, well, I'm going to actually start telling people, I thought, well, I better look at this company because most multi-level marketing businesses don't last past the first 5 years. Anyway, at the beginning of last year, we were a 19-year-old company. We were turning 19 last year. We turned 20 this year, and I've just been on the 20th anniversary cruise. So the other thing that happened is that the company, because of X39, went from a company that in 2021 turned over 20 million. In 2022, it did 320 million. In 2023, it did 430 million, and we're on track to do over 600 million this year. Now, very few companies jump from 20 million to over 600 in such a short space of time. And that is all because of X39. The first sort of 17 years of the company, it was mainly medical professionals that were using the other patches in their practices, and they had all kinds of protocols, and they were only telling people in their practices and almost prescribing. Since X39 has come about, anybody can say to people, there's this patch, it does amazing stuff, stick it on. You don't need to know anything more than, like, you would brush your teeth in the morning, brush your teeth at night, put it on in the morning, take it off at night, have a gap of 12 hours. That's all you need to know. So it's really spread. We're now in over 80 countries. And the exciting thing is that we're not a Me Too product. So there are many people in the network who have been part of other multi-level marketing companies. Some of them have been very successful, some of them not. But all of them say to me, the difference here is we've got a product that's unique, It's patented. We've got 16 years left on the patent, and we don't have competition. Because if you have a weight loss product or something that's skincare or supplements, as soon as you tell someone, I've got a weight loss shake, they say, well, I've got one too. Or they order from you, and then when finance becomes an issue, they end up going to the supermarket and they buy some sort of shake there. It might not be as good, but they're not really going to look at that because they don't necessarily know enough and how to read labels, etc. So that's where we're ahead of everybody else. Where we also are different is that if any shop does sell our patches, my local pharmacy have been part of my network for over a year now. They use patches in their clinic. They are required by the company to sell at the recommended retail price, which is more than you can get it for from a brand partner. So, I mean, they are a brand partner, but they retail it. So at retail, they have to sell at recommended retail price, which means that you will get it cheaper if you come to me, or if you sign up with them as a preferred customer or brand partner under them. But at retail, it's more. So whereas X39 is $100 a sleeve, at wholesale, it's $150 at retail. It's quite a big difference. Now, we also the #1 ranked company on businessforhome.org because of our momentum. And businessforhome.org lists about 170 different multi-level marketing companies. So you can have a look at it because they rate you on all sorts of different things, and we have a hugely high rating. Now, we belong to a team called This Is It Team. You know, this is an info, this is a team. It was started by Steve and Gina Merritt, who are in the States. They're brand partners. They only joined LifeWave in July last year, and they've been absolutely phenomenal. At the time, they were the people who went to Senior Presidential Director the fastest. They did it in 28 days. The people who've beat them since then. But they have done all kinds of training for their team or their downline, which we all part of. In January, we had a virtual conference and corporate were there, and corporate showed us this slide. And on this slide, corporate showed that from June last year, This Is a Team outperformed every other team in the company. So this is, it's producing more business volume than the rest of the company combined, which is quite something, given that there are other people who have teams that have been going for 20 years. And I met some of them on the cruise. And Adrian and I met one of the brand partners who's been in for 19 years in Prague. He was also on the cruise, but they're people who've been in for 20 years. We also this year have been awarded the DSN 2024 Global Bravo Award for the #1 growth company in network marketing. Again, quite something. On the left was the This Is It convention last year. Steve and Gina are the couple. Gina's in the pantsuit. Steve's got a black shirt along with David Schmidt on the left and Meredith, who is our company president. On the right is Meredith with her corporate team. Now, at this stage, we pivot and we say, what is most important in your life? Is it your family? Do you want more time with them? Do you want the freedom to do things that you can with them? Do you want more security? Do you want to travel more? Do you want better health or less debt? When I joined, it was all about the health. I had a huge amount of debt thanks to COVID, but I wasn't focused on that because I was never network marketing again. But I can say that I'm now debt-free. I've been on 2 international incentives already this year, one to Prague, where Adrian was, and then the cruise, which we went to Italy, Greece, and Croatia. And I'm about to go to a convention in October in the States and to Morocco in November. Arleen, of course, is going to be going to Vietnam on the November incentive because Australia is a different region to South Africa or Europe. Adrian and I are, and Val and a whole lot of others on this board are in the European region, which is Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Nobody would guess that South Africa was Europe, but we are. And we're the top performing country in the region. Just for those who want to know, when I joined in December 2022, we were the worst performing country in the region. So it just shows how things have changed. We have an incredible compensation plan in LifeWave, and I get told about this every day from people who've moved from other companies. They can't believe our compensation plan. So we get rewarded for bringing people into the company. It's called a product introductory bonus. If you sign somebody up who doesn't ever want to do the business, I came in as a brand partner because I thought it was a better way to afford the product. But some people don't ever want to even do that. So they come in as what's called a preferred customer. Preferred customers get wholesale price. They have a recurring order every month. And if you're the brand partner who signed them up, you get commission every month off their order. But you don't ever have to hold stock or sell it to them. That's what I love about LifeWave. I hold no stock, only the product we use ourselves. But in LifeWave, we love to build teams. So when we come in, as long as you're on gold and you build 2 teams or 2 legs, and you bring 2 people in on each leg, on silver or above, you become what's called a manager. And the managers, we say manager is the most important rank in the company. And manager opens up the compensation plan for you. It means that you could earn $100 a week if you like, or $500 a week, or $1,000 or $1,500 a week even, just from the team bonuses. And we call them cycle bonuses or team bonuses because when you build, the leg that you are placed on, now this might be sounding like, oh, I don't understand this. I'll give you a website just now and you can go and watch a whole hour YouTube on the compensation plan if that's something that you really want to know about. But every time you have 660 business volume on your greater leg, 330 on your lesser leg, you get a cycle bonus. And a cycle bonus is $50. Now those $50 add up because you could be getting 70 or 80 or 100 cycles a week. You know, and as you go up in the amount of cycles that you get, obviously it's more money. And that's very exciting. Now, senior presidential directors on cycle bonuses are capped at 25,000 US a week. I am nowhere near there. But there are people who every single week max that out on a Monday already. And then their volume just accumulates during the week. And business volume is from the people underneath you buying their monthly product or signing up preferred customers or signing up brand partners. So you don't do it by yourself. One of the legs, you're going to get overflow. I always say it's like those champagne, you know, those round champagne glasses they used to do at weddings and they poured the champagne in the top and it flowed over. It's a bit like that. You get these points coming down below you. And people often say to me, but I've got 16, 20, 100 people under me and I've only put 3 people there. I don't know who these people even are. They are people that have been placed by the people above you, and you get the volume for those people towards cycle bonuses. And that's what we love about LifeWave. We do this together. Now, something that's even more exciting is something called matching bonuses. So matching bonuses, to get matching bonuses, you need to be a manager or above. And then that means that Arleen is my first line. So every time Arleen gets a cycle bonus, I get 25% of it, but not of Arleen's money. She still gets her $50. But if Arleen earns $1,000 a week on cycle bonuses, the company gives me $250 because they say, Merle, you've done a great job. You've helped Arleen, you've mentored her, you've helped her get where she's going. And so we are going to give you a reward. And that's what you get rewarded with. Now, Adrian would be my second line because he's Arleen's first line. So every single time he gets a cycle bonus, Arleen gets 25% and I get 20%, but Adrian still gets his full cycle bonus. And then if Val was the third line, then Adrian would get 25%, Arleen would get 20%, and I would get 20%. Matching bonuses only goes to level 3, but it's uncapped. So if you have 30 people that you've signed up, all getting cycles every week, you are going to get 25% on all of those 30 people cycles, even if they only get 1 cycle. It's $12.50, and somebody else is getting 20 cycles. You know, so it's different amounts from each person, but it adds up. Those people then might have 60 or 80 people that are your line 2. If all of them are getting cycles, you're getting 20% on that. Even if some of them are getting, you get 20% on whoever does, and then on line 3, 20%. So that can make a much bigger difference in your cycle bonuses. And it's why we obviously want to build our teams and help everybody. I mean, we want to help everybody in any case because we love everybody in the business, but it is an added incentive. So how do you get started? We always say you get started by coming in where you fit in. So David Schmidt says everybody should patch for 3 months. Don't patch for a week and say, I'm not having a result, this doesn't work, because your body has to heal and you can't see what's happening inside, like my thyroid. If I didn't do blood tests, I wouldn't know there was a difference. So when I joined, I thought, okay, my husband has tinnitus, he's going to patch, I'm going to patch, I'm never telling anyone. I'm going to come in on silver because it's the most affordable. It gives us a sleeve each, so that's 30 days each. A sleeve has 30 patches in. So it's going to give us 30 days each, and then the third sleeve will give us another 2 weeks each, and then I can upgrade to gold. The great thing is you can upgrade in LifeWave. By upgrading, I would pay the difference, I would get the difference in product. Of course, it didn't happen that way, and I have never been inactive, and we'll talk about being active later. If, however, you come in, like Arleen did, and she went, I actually need this money to fix my car. I remember the discussion, but it sounds right, and at that stage, there's no depot in Australia. It had to come from somewhere else, from overseas. So she went, well, I'm coming in on gold, so I have the product. She came in on gold, and before she even had her product in her hands, she told enough people that it had been paid for. But on gold, you get 5 sleeves of X39, plus you get a free supplementary sleeve. So Eon or LifeWave or glutathione or one of our other patches. Or you can take an X39 away and replace it with 2 of the cheaper sleeves. And they drop in price on the sign up. But you can also upgrade. Then if you're really wanting a lot of product, so you're a health shop, you're a pharmacy, you do massage therapy, or you just know a lot of people and you want to share patches, you're going to come in on Diamond. Adrian came in on Diamond because he gave people's patches while they were waiting for them to arrive. Then it's $1,599.95. You get 19 sleeves of X39 plus a supplementary sleeve, and the cost drops to $84 a sleeve. So you get a nice discount. Plus, you don't have to purchase product for 3 months. You stay active for 3 months. And what do I mean about staying active? If you don't stay active, you keep your position on the binary, but you don't collect volume. So you get money if you bring people in, but you won't get volume, and volume adds to cycle bonuses. So to collect that volume, even if you're not binary qualified yet, and even if you're not getting cycle bonuses, is important, because all that volume adds to money down the line. So if you're not a manager, you only need 55 points volume a month to stay active. That's 1 sleeve of patches a month. So in other words, the sleeve you're going to, of patches you're going to use on yourself. Once you're a manager, all the way up to senior presidential director, you only need 2 sleeves a month to stay active. So that's an X39 and a supplementary sleeve, or 3 supplementary sleeves. In my household, my 20-year-old patches, my husband patches, I patch. That's already 3 sleeves of X39 a month before I add my X49, and we add things like glutathione and Eon and Alavida, and we add a whole lot of other things. But when I joined, I knew nothing except that we had X39. So it was the only patch I started with. Karen, who Adrian has shared the link, her link in to her story in the chat, she didn't know there was anything else. Her whole life changing was because of X39. So X39 really is the patch we focus on. Now, as I said, if what I've said now sounds hugely confusing, we have a site called thisisateam.com. Thisisateam.com is our business website. If you want to know more about the compensation plan, go to compensation plan section on This Is a Team and go to Danny McDaniel, because I think he does the best talk about the compensation plan. But everything is here, from how you should build your business, how you sign people up, what the best way to do things are. There are downloads explaining how you go manager, how you go director, how you go senior. Everything is there. So if you bought a franchise, you would get a book to explain it, and the books are often like this big. This is like getting a franchise, except you get a website. And a lot of people compare it. There's some amazing senior presidential directors who have big franchises, and they talk about the difference between a franchise and LifeWave, saying LifeWave, it's like having a franchise, but the fees are nothing like having a Subs or a Kentucky or whatever else it is, and it's obviously you're in complete control. So the time is now to make your move. Are you serious about your dream? So I say to people, what is your dream? For some people, the dream is just to be pain-free, to be able to walk without pain, to not feel like they're going to pass out all the time, to not wake up every morning with some part of their body not moving, to be able to carry on working. We hear those stories all the time. Or is your dream to have financial security? There is hope for your future, whether it's physical, financial, or both. We can help you get started. So go back to the person who invited you to this call and say to them, well, how do I get started? Because I really want to get going with LifeWave, because it is going to change my life. And we can assure you, you've heard Arleen's story, you've heard what Adrian said. If you go to This Is It Info and you listen to those testimonies, there is a brand partner on there. He's a senior presidential director called Andre Devodi. And I met Andre on the cruise, but I had heard his story on one of my team Zooms in October last year. He was given 6 months to live, and he's alive because of X39. I mean, you listen to those stories, you know why we're so passionate about this product. So thanks, Arleen.
Thank you. Just going to pause the recording.